This is episode 25, and it's called Share the Gospel, Not the Gossip.
Yeah.
This is the first addition to the new series that we're going to be working on as we go. It's not one of those things where we plan on doing it 1 week and then follow up with it the next. We'll be going back and forth with it. This is the new series that we're starting up. It's called Watch Your Mouth. It's the Watch Your Mouth series. And we're going to be dealing with like certain topics where you can your mouth can get you in trouble. Your words, your thoughts, your opinions, even some of the truth that you tell, those things can get you in trouble. Let's get into the intro of this one. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 22. The words of a whisperer are like delicious morsels. They go down into the inner parts of the body. And I wanted to start off with that today because gossip, slander, and rumors, they taste so good. They taste so good, and they can be such a delight whenever we hear some fresh news and we're able to run off and talk to somebody about it. But it has such a bad aftertaste.
Yeah.
And it's bad for the body. So we got to watch what we're eating when it comes to this. I read in the Greek that to gossip has the same root word as to whisper.
Yeah.
And we've gotten so bad with this whole whispering game that we become bold and unashamed, and we yell it from the rooftops. Which is like the opposite of what Proverbs tells us to do with wisdom.
Yeah.
The wisdom tells us to shout wisdom and truth from the rooftops. Well, we love to shout this gossip and slander and rumors.
Posted.
Paraded.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, whether it's spilling the tea, whether it's part of that rumor report, or have you heard the latest? Or even I heard it through the grapevine for those of you that are seasoned in age. This stuff is not good, and some make a career out of it. We got to be careful. Yeah. We got to be careful, and we have to remind ourselves that this is not ways that Christians should be acting, talking, or living.
Yeah.
This is not Christ-like. So, again, episode 25, share the gospel, not the gossip.
Yeah.
So
it's a touchy topic because I think, like I told you before, we've all done it.
Absolutely.
And maybe some of us have been doing it without knowing it.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's not as obvious sometimes as people think, like especially around people you're more comfortable with, and we'll get into that. But so have you ever seen a relationship heavily damaged because of gossip? Absolutely. But before I wanted to share, I wanted to have some confession where I've been guilty of that.
This is the place to do it. We're pretty transparent here. We try to be.
Every one of us have been guilty of something like that, and I think that's important to note because none of us are exempt. I think we've had moments where we were chopping it up with someone, as we would say, or just sharing, whatever the case is, but venting. But we've made that mistake of gossiping, so I think we're all guilty of it. So I've seen people criticize and disapprove egregiously. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've seen it, man. I've seen people being ripped to shreds by other people verbally. People who were talked about falsely with no regard to go to the person themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like they're talking about them and they're slandering them, they're beefing with them, but they won't even go to them. I've seen that too. And I can actually admit that I've been a victim of people trying to damage my reputation through gossip, through false statements, through distorted perspectives. You know what I'm saying? Bearing false witness. That's taking place. Yeah. And I could admit also to being part of foolish talk, as I would say. That's part of gossiping. Might not be slanderous, but it could be foolish.
Even maybe jokes too, like
yeah,
at the expense of others. Where you kind of laugh on their situation, or listen. This episode, preparing for it, studying, and just praying and all of those things leading up into going live today have been convicting.
Yeah.
The conversations that I've had with people, I brought it up like, yo, we're about to do a episode on gossip. I brought it up in front of friends that I gossip with, that I have gossip with, you know what I mean? And then we, you know, man, just, yeah, it's very convicting. This is so in no way are we saying that we're perfect and we're like,
I think
totally
that's
exempt from
yeah. This was convicting. And when I say foolish, I meant, you know, not having better judgment on what I was saying. You know, I think that could happen. So you can indirectly gossip without the intent of bringing somebody down or whatever. You could just be talking, you know what I'm saying? You could be talking out of order, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, you're not talking to them. So,
yeah. I mentioned earlier that the Greek word of gossip, at least talked about in the New Testament, is the same root word as to whisper.
Yeah.
And so I brought up the fact that, you know, we do play this whispering game. It makes sense. But it's to the point where it's not just whispering anymore. Like, we play this yelling game. We're yelling gossip now. We're posting it. It's just loud. Yeah. It's loud gossip. It's not even quiet gossip anymore.
Yeah, the Bible in the Old Testament and New Testament uses the term gossip or slander as different meanings. You know, it talks about the state of being held in low esteem, not seeing someone in high esteem, criticizing someone disrespectfully, abusing someone with words. Yeah. You know, falsely speaking about someone that damages their reputation. Yeah. And also, it you know, kind of like an amoral use of it is it's a short account of some news. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like it's okay to share the information, but you know how it is. We end up twisting that into negative or criticizing someone in a slanderous way. Then the New Testament also uses it similar. It deals more with the malicious intent of words. Someone who's actually characterized by a gossiper would be someone who whispers in hushed tones, as it says. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're talking about someone, but kind of like, you know my man over there, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what he did? You want to know what he did? Right. And so it's indulging in that talk and that foolishness, you know, and it's someone who loves doing that, who constantly does that. It's almost an addictive thing to them. You know what I'm saying? For sure. So the Bible really points that out clearly. You know, 1 Timothy 5:13, Romans 1:29, and 2 Corinthians 12:20. You know, the scriptures do warn us about someone who criticizes, as it says, with severe disapproval, that one would not say to the person talked about. That's really what it is. Yeah. It's abusive, it's false, it's damaging, and it's done on a hush tip, you know, behind their backs. And it's someone who indulges in that, you know. For sure. So that's the warning.
That's dealing with gossip. Yeah. Could you maybe talk about the difference between gossip and slander?
Yeah, I actually, you know, looked that up. And slander involves more of speaking evil of someone in order to damage them. Gossip, passively speaking, can involve immaturity. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when you're slandering someone, there's ill intent. You're actually trying to destroy somebody. And gossip can entail someone who's passively, you know, not slandering, but gossiping in a way that they're just doing it not necessarily to harm someone, but out of immaturity. Gotcha. Because they like talking about people, not knowing that it's actually causing damage, or they know, but they're more into talking about people. You know what I mean?
And we're image bearers. We're supposed to be like resembling and imitating Christ. These aren't things that we're supposed to be doing. Even when you bring up like a person that's going around spreading rumors, it's like, yo, you don't even know that if that's true or not, but you're still willing to share that. Why do we act like this? It's a dirty game with gossiping and slandering and even spreading rumors.
And we're talking about people who are image bearers.
I mean, I kind of expect that from someone who is not a Christian per se, but even especially towards the Christians when it comes to that. So, I think it's good to identify who, what, when, where, and how we are prone to play the whispering game and to talk about people like this. It's good to identify those habits and tendencies. Because we had a person mention, Brian, he said it often happens in cliques or formed circles, which to me it implied it happens in comfortable situations. Yeah. So knowing all the details on like where we're doing it, how we're doing it, like with who and all those are things that we need to pay attention to if we want to change this situation. Because you're going to need to start to zero in on your gossip moments. And these are people problems. This isn't just it's not just a female problem. Females get a bad rap when it comes to like, oh, they love the gossip, but men do too. Oh yeah. This is not just a female problem, and it's similar to sexual lust. The way that a lot of men get the bad rap, and it's like we're the only ones that are committing the sexual sin. No, women too, right? And that's the same way with gossip and slandering. This is a people problem. This is a everybody problem. For the church and the unchurched. I guess let's get into the first question that somebody asked us, which is, what do we do when someone wrongs us and whispers about us?
It's good.
What would you say on that? That was Lou. Lou asked that, and then I'll get into his comment a little bit.
I think you're called to confront them. And that's hard for some people who, don't have that personality. I come from the background, well, I want to get in your face and be like, yo, what's going on? Like, are you talking about me? Let's talk. You don't have to talk behind me. But there's some other people where that's very difficult. Yeah. For those that find it very difficult, I do believe you have an obligation biblically to go to them. Because then you're only going to create in yourself bitterness and resentment and distance that's that hasn't been dealt with, and then you're no better than the person who talked about you. Right. So I think that's important, because then there's division, there's this like watchman call too, because if your brother's sinning and you're not telling them, you're accountable. Absolutely. So that's hard. It's hard for those who aren't used to confrontation. And then for those of us who are used to confrontation, we have to carefully approach, because we want to be like, don't be talking about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know me. Right. You want to know me? You want to know me? You want to have something to talk about? Then, that type of thing. So we got to be very careful on both sides, to confront in love and not to distance ourselves, and wrap that up in wisdom. Right. Some people say, well, it's wise for me to stay away from people like that. Well, if they talked about you specifically, you need to go to them. Yeah.
And you know what? I was wrong. That wasn't Lou that actually asked me that. That was somebody I was talking to at work. Remember, I was talking about, I got into this conversation with someone at work, and she was just asking me that question. What do we do when someone wrongs us and whispers about us? But Lou actually said that times that he's heard gossip on expired information about people who already confessed and repented of the sin still gossiped. How do we call that out? So like dealing with a person, talking about a person, someone's talking about a person on a sin that they already confessed. What do we do with that whenever someone's asking, when somebody's doing that? Like, how do we approach that?
Yeah. I would confront and be like, that's old, right?
Yeah.
Homie repented, and then clear it up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I would do. Is just clear the picture, clear the air, confront, and then you go from there.